Hey, good morning, everybody. How are we? Happy Hump Day, Wednesday, June 25th, 2025. And this is Rick with Hit and Run Candlesticks for the morning charts and targets. Good morning, Gold. How are you? Tommy, you doing well? Carmen, Bill, Mike, Chip, Joe, Roger, everybody doing good here? Mike, John, Fred, Roger, let's see, Rod, Sonny, good morning, good morning, good morning. Oh, yeah. Oof, let's see here. Get going. All right, get that done. There we go. All right, we're cool. I assume there's a chart and sound. Hey, good morning, Doug. Welcome back. Yay. Welcome back. Thank you very much. Thank you very much. Oh, I'll call on you to cover for me. Don't worry. It's coming up. Oh, I'm glad I hope you've got your project finished, and I hope it was a good one. So welcome back, sir. Glad to have you. All right, folks, ladies and gentlemen, let's get this ball rolling. I think the market is, well, on fire. It's just doing great. I was just looking at this. What are we from? About right there, I guess, up to that line. We're less than 1% of reaching the SPY all-time highs. This would be February is where we are, the highs. And that would get us over the 612.50. And over 612.50, well, there's some targets up there. There's some we could get higher. So bulls are in charge, no question about it. Yeah. Let's see here. Remember, we want to see the price leading the T line. T line is just the 8 EMA, and the T line, or the 8, leading the trend indicator, and that gives you your trend. If you look, let's see here, make this red. See where price dropped down? See this right here? That whole section was extremely bullish. And then here, I shouldn't have painted it red, right? But that right there is very bullish. And see how we dropped down? We started getting kind of funky a little bit. The price went below the T line a little bit. Price even went below the trend indicator a little bit. So that became very questionable through here. But now the bulls are starting to come back. So very bullish market here. Take a look at T2123. We are up and running, and it's doing fantastic. VXX is down, and that is doing fantastic. Hey, good morning, Kathy. I see you're logging in from Facebook. Thank you very much. Sometimes I wonder if those actually work. I really do. And Vernon, hello. You're from YouTube over there. Thank you for logging in. I appreciate it. Okay. So we've got, for me, I think we've got 2 thumbs up. T2123 is working out very nice. VIX is down, so that's working for the bulls. So 2 thumbs up for the bulls here. Really quick, if you look at the diamonds are doing the same thing. They're moving up. They've got a little bit further to go, but they're doing great. I mean, the trend is there. Everything is working. Q's are rocking, man. Q's are rocking. Oh, okay, everybody. Nancy's here. Stop talking about her, okay? No more. Mean it. Hello, Nancy. How you doing? On the Q's, we've got a golden cross here, which I think is pretty cool. Let's get rid of that line. Here we've run up. Man, we're going to have to draw some more lines on the Q's. Going to have to give it something to hang on to. Q's are moving higher. What else do we have? Look, IWM. IWM is here. Look at that. It's working. IWM gets through the 200 period moving average. I think the next target I would probably kind of look for is take out that big candle right in there. So over the 200, we'll look for 225. I'll call it 226 over there. Okay. SMH is doing wonderful. It is taking right off. Let's get all that off. It's leading the way. Go tech, Hey, in my mind, it doesn't matter who wants to lead us. I don't care. I really don't. I don't care who wants to lead us up. I don't really care who wants to lead us down. All I'm going to do is follow the trend. And it's really, really easy to do. Let me do this. Just bear with me here, please. It's really easy to do. Just follow that. You don't even have to put candlesticks price action on there. When it's red, you know you want to be more short than long. There's certainly some long charts out there, but you want to be mostly to the short side. And when it's long, you want to be mostly to the long side. It's real simple, very, very clear. I take the price action off because sometimes the price action will fool you. It'll fool you a little bit. So, but beautiful chart there. IYT stepping up. You better buckle up if the transports and SMH can get themselves going bullish. Yeah, we better find a helmet. We better put some seat belts on and get ready to rock and roll. Hey, good morning, Gavin. Thank you for logging in from YouTube. Appreciate it very much. Stefan, thank you very much. Logging in from YouTube. Appreciate that. Okay, I do have a list of charts here if you guys want to go look at them. Right now, my outlook for my outlook for this morning is to remain bullish. Everything looking good here. So take a look at 8. Oh, hey, before I get started, I want to reach out and say thank you to all the members here for allowing us to have our open house yesterday. And out there, if somebody from the open house is listening, through this recording or somewhere, I want to say thank you very much for joining us in the open house. It was fantastic. I appreciate it. And a great big thank you. Okay. All right. ALB is setting up here. This is a rounded bottom breakout coming up. I like the way it's coming up through here. And if you just look at, the dotted deuce up here, that's 18.5%. To the 50% retracement is 23. On to the 200, that's 35%. Well, if you ask me, that looks like a trade you might want to keep on your watch list. Trade it when you can, relax, then trade it again, relax, trade it again. Or you buy it, and as long as it keeps making some upside moves, it may slide down a little bit. All charts do that. But this chart here has the potential, I think, of reaching that 50% retracement. And we're talking how much? What was that? 23%. And that's on the stock. So if you buy the option, that's huge. That's big money. So ALB needs to be one that we really, really keep an eye on. FMC here, look at that. FMC is another rounded bottom breakout. I think we go up here to this $50 range, and that is somewhere in here, about there. That is in the neighborhood of 16% away. We are already have tested the dotted deuce, and we're coming back up through it now. And this one looks like, to me, it's going to go up there. I just like the way the pre-market candle is kind of working. So I like that. But FMC looks fantastic for the watch list. Again, there's, to me, there's two ways to trade it. Let me get my arrow out here. If you, assuming you might be buying it now, you trade it as long as it's bullish. If it starts to turn bearish, well, you step away. And then you let it pull back or rest. And then when you start seeing the buyers start stepping back in, well, you get back in it. And you might do this 3 or 4 times before it gets to your target. Or, you just simply, you buy it. Let's do this way. Depending on the way you trade, depending on how you manage your trade, you buy it. Just, we may have a red day where it pulls back or something. You're still in it, and then go right up to it. So whichever way you manage it, that looks like a good solid target. Now this also depends on the market remaining bullish. The market, like I always talk about the SPY, that's the backbone. Now I realize, it's kind of crazy because it's all the stocks in the SPY that makes the SPY do what it does. But I consider the SPY as the backbone. It tells the story of all the stocks. So as long as the SPY remains bullish, well, everything in its world is going to be not everything is going to be working, but they're the stocks that are working to create that backbone and keeping it strong and stiff and straight. They're in the SPY. Well, those are the ones you want to be in. Let's see here. Take a look at TER. TER is a nice one. Nice target up here. TER, 14%. It has been my experience that, there we go. It's been my experience that stocks will come up to the dotted deuce there, to it or very close to it. They can even pop their nose out just a little bit, but generally they pull back. And this has been my experience. They move here. They might go sideways. They might move down a little bit, a little consolidation. And then they kind of get their bearings back together, and here they go again. So keep that in mind. Whenever we approach that dotted deuce area, there's always this chance, and I think it's more likely than not that we're going to get that pause there, a little bit of a speed bump, going to have to work its way through there. Trade desk. I think trade desk is a killer chart. I love that chart. I've talked to several people over, I don't know, several years, I guess, about trade desk, and trade desk is not a it's not a it's not a hot shot stock. It's not fashionable, but I like it. I like the way it acts. And here we are moving down, and now we're coming up. Nice bottom right here. Excellent bottom. Heading up toward that dotted deuce, and then up here toward the 50 and the 50% retracement. TX is TXG. Look at that. Yesterday there was a section yesterday where I talked about the dotted deuce being active, a magnet for price. And I know that people, there's some non-believers out there, and until they go look at charts, and they'll become believers. And this is, just look at this one. Talking about a fence that kept price in. Wow. When this thing breaks out, that means that fence is going to keep them in from crossing the line. So TXG, let's keep that on that watch list. Watch for a trade, 20%. Now, and thanks again. There's so many people in the room, and it's becoming more and more and more, where when you buy something, you share it. And that's like an alert for everybody. So thank you very much for everybody that does that. Thank you for sharing your wins, your losses, your closes. I appreciate that. I think that is one of the things that is making this room one of the best rooms out there, and it makes it even better when everybody shares that. So if somebody jumps into this, let us know, and it might be the key. Well, yeah, we better get in it too. AKM is setting up here. AKAM rounded. I didn't mean to pick on rounded bottom breakouts today, but it sure does seem like I am. Here's one that's not. DG. I'm in this one, aren't I? Yes, I'm holding DG here. Yeah, here's DG, and a little story behind DG. The other day when I bought it, this is the 500 period moving average. I didn't have it turned on, and I bought it, and somebody in the room posted out, well, man, I wouldn't have bought that. It's bumped up right against the 500 period moving average. Well, I wish they would have told me about 2 minutes earlier. Wouldn't have had to have the little minor heart attack with this thing gapping down. But seriously, the 500 period moving average, I don't know why I turned it off, but I have it turned back on now. And look at that. We hit it, and it just scared it away. Well, now it looks like we're trying to come up through it. And when we do, my target's going to be up here around 126, 127, 128 up here on that DG, which is about 10% away. Let's see. Oklo. Yeah, Oklo's on my list here. Look at Oklo. Yeah, that is rocking. That is rocking. And by the way, I'm looking at Oklo, and I don't particularly think that's too late to buy. So just because it's up 3 days up here, I don't think that's too late at all to buy. I'm going to put a line right there. And targets up here in the 68 range. What is this one? I don't know. There, do it that way. 72 and then 75 range. But Oklo looks like it's smoking hot. Disney is trying to wake up here. Disney's just moving sideways right now, waiting for the buyers to move in. Disney, buying a chart like this really is, you can buy anywhere, usually not in the very beginning over here. As we start moving sideways, you start realizing that we've got this consolidation. Buying can be in anywhere in here. Also buying on the breakout. So we start to break out. You might want to look at that. So Disney is worth a look. 123.30 up here is what I'm looking at. All right. Hey, do you guys have anything for? I don't want to own the show here. HSY Hershey. Yeah, look at Hershey. Hershey has made its way up. That's great momentum. Hershey's looking, it's like it's crawling underground, and they've found a hole at the top of the ground or dug one from underneath, and they've got their little heads up there looking around. What's up here? Look. There's the 500 period moving average. Jeepers creepers, let's go get it. That's what that looks like. BB beat on earnings. Well, doggone it. There it goes. We'll see if it goes higher here. Let's flag BB. Thank you. Let's see, Bart, thinking about a bearish trade. Some of us made an ASTS last week. What do you think about similar on coin? Let's see. No. Okay, the AST trade, what we did there, little different. Okay, little different. That at the end of the day, that ended, I think, with a big old shooting star. That's a shooting star. Okay, so just shut one eye, you'll see it. That's shooting star. And so that's what I would want to. I would want to see something the sellers have really started to sell on it, is what I'd want to see. But I'll tell you what, let's keep a really close eye on that, Bart. And if it does start to produce that, we'll kind of monitor throughout the day. Okay. Let's see here. What do we have? Good morning. Hey, Hydro, how you doing? Good morning. PACB might be setting up, by golly. Let's get that out of the way. Yeah, setting up for rounded bottom breakout. Perfect. Hopped above the 50, the dotted deuce and the trendicator up there. We nailed the trendicator. I'm sorry, the dotted deuce. We pulled back. As I look at this, I probably think that above this candle right here is what I would want as a buy. And then you've got about a 25% ride up to that 200 there. Nice. But that's the way I would look at it. I'm going to flag that. Thank you. And then you have another one, CAMPS. That's wrong. CMPS, excuse me. CMPS. There we go. CMPS. Yeah, I don't know. I don't have the foggiest clue what you're going to do with that one. If you're short, put your stop in. If you're long, put your stop in. There you go. Yeah. Other than that, I don't know what you're going to do with that. Plug your nose and give it time, I guess. Give it lots of time. How do you know if the market is overbought? All seem the top or all-time high. There's a couple of ways. T2122, that's not it. There you go. T21.2 tells you that it's overbought. You can see where we're way up here. That's a sign that the market is overbought a little bit. Now you've got to. Here's the thing, though. I've seen the market stay overbought for, it'll even come down for quite a long time. And overbought, honestly, is where I think some of the best trades are, because that means everything's moving up. But it is at risk if something was to start falling apart, then we start moving down. So this is a good one to see if we're overbought or not. The whole idea of overbought and oversold needs to be put in the same box as overbought can stay overbought, then you have money to hold on to it. And it can stay oversold for longer than you have money. So you've got to kind of balance that out. Yeah, overbought means that the easiest pressure or the slightest pressure could push us down. But it could stay there for an awful long time. So just because it's overbought doesn't mean it's ready to be shorted, or just because it's oversold doesn't mean that it's ready to be bought. Now, I will say, in my opinion, the market can stay overbought much longer than oversold. I will say that. Over my years, that's something I've learned. Overbought can last a whole lot longer than oversold. Okay. So anyway, this is what I would use to look for that. You could also put stochastics or RSI on the chart, and a little longer term maybe, and then you'll know if it's overbought. Okay. Anyway, thanks for asking. Hey, good morning, Lee. How are you? Oh, oops. Well, both of you asking about Tesla. So okay, let's look at Tesla. Michael and Lee are asking about Tesla. That's not Tesla. What am I doing wrong? There you go. So, what's my take on Tesla? All right, on Tesla, I have zero interest in Tesla till it crosses above this line right here. Okay, then I will gain some interest, but it's going to need to cross above that line. And all that is 50% from whatever highs we are here, December highs down to these lows. And that's the 50% retracement right there. Tesla, I think, is still in sort of a drama world. Their head's kind of foggy and all. I'm a believer, in Musk. I really am. Like him or not, doesn't matter. I think he is a cool cat when he comes to business and getting her done. So I'm a believer. Now, when we cross up this line, I plan to buy this Tesla in one account, and then I'm going to buy TSLL in a different account right here. So, and I'm just waiting for them to get up this area here. Some proof that they can get through the muddy water that they're in right now. Okay. Anyway, that's my thought on Tesla at the moment. Let's see here. Can spot potential pullbacks. There we go. SOUN. Let's see here. SOUN. SOUN has potential of being bullish. I'm going to move that and change that and put this up here. There we go. It has the potential to become quite bullish. And if it pops up over 1030, that's my buy area right through there. And then I have a target way up there, 39% with targets along the way. Okay. So that's what I'm thinking on that one. Let's see here. UPS, and I'm just about ready to run out of time here too, folks. Yeah, UPS is still moving sideways. They had earnings, or was it FedEx that had earnings? But they're just still moving sideways. I'd probably there's probably going to be some chatter about those folks today, like I said, because of the earnings. But I would let a little. Well, that tells me who had earnings. So right now, I'd probably do nothing to either one of them. Just simply, they are not doing anything. Okay. AKAM. Yeah, that was on my list this morning, Joe. Yeah, we've already looked at that one, but that's a beautiful rounded bottom breakout. I'm with you on it. Okay. I'm with you. AA. Yep. Rounded bottom breakout. Target, dotted deuce. 500 period moving average is right there. Right there. So keep that in mind. That's kind of a little sneaker kind of chart there. So we got to be careful with that one, or indicator there. DHI. There we go. Yeah, DHR moving up. Rounded bottom breakout. Just got to get through that dotted deuce there, and we're ready to rock and roll. 500 right here. Okay. And Toll Brothers. I like Toll yesterday. I like it today too. I probably like Toll Brothers better than Horton, and that's because of this. Right there is the 500 period moving average. We are now over it. So I would have to. On the other hand, the Horton, you could run to the 500. So you could make an argument either way there. But right now, I would have to say Toll Brothers is my favorite here. I think it's a good looking chart. Seems like it's been on more of a mission. Okay. All right. I've only got time for just a couple more, and that's it. Gotta go. Nice little pullback. 3-8 trap setting up. 500 period moving average right here. Got to pay attention to those moving averages. One more. MU in a trend. A stock in a trend stays in a trend till it's no longer a trend. Bullish. All right, got to go. Thanks, everybody. Absolutely appreciate it. Thank you again for being here. Happy Wednesday to you, and we'll see you all tomorrow morning at this time. And all members, I'll see you in the room in about 15, 16 minutes. You guys all take care now.